guys, it's Jarek there, Dragon from RDA. We got another chrono today. This one is of a very special gun. This is of the Army Armament Detonics 45, or they like to call it the R45. So this thing packs actually a big punch for such a small little pistol. It is very nicely made, surprisingly. I didn't know Army could actually make this nice a gun. It kicks very loud, it kicks very hard, it shoots, it's very loud. And it doesn't feel like it's using pot or die-cast metal, it feels like aluminum, so thumbs up to Army for that. I might be picking up more of these when I can, but if I do pick up more of these, it's only going to be like 2 every 2 months or so. So if you want to pick up one of these, it's going to be hard to pick one of them up. Just make sure to keep checking up on the site to make sure if it's in stock or not available. Link below to RDA's website where you can buy it. So this is basically a smaller 1911, except for the magazine is not a single stack. The magazine is double stack and actually holds 17 rounds, which is very good for such a small magazine. But enough talking, you want to see this thing shooting? So it's loaded with 0.2 gram BBs, full magazine loaded with propane. See how this thing shoots. Alright, so feet per second first, and again, as I mentioned earlier, this thing is actually very loud. Just listen, actually I don't know how well the camera will pick up the sound, but go ahead and try to listen to how loud this thing is, maybe if it'll echo off something or other. 259, 260, 256, 257, 260, 254, 264, 253. So it seems to be averaging about 260 feet per second, and for a magazine that is only that big, it's a very, very small magazine, and overall the pistol is very small, as you can see. Nice trademarks as well, kind of off topic, but it's a small pistol. Shooting 260 is actually pretty nice. And this can also use your standard 1911 magazines if you would like it to do that. I'm using the standard magazine it comes with just to keep it more consistent. So 260 feet per second, it's overall pretty good for such a small gun. Alright, so it's time to shoot a can now. Just one magazine, 17 rounds of .2s into the monster can, about 15 feet away. And we're out of BBs. So here's the can, just pulled it off that nail. Big hole in the front, well, not a giant hole, but a hole in the front one, about 3 or 4 BBs went straight into it. They didn't exit out of the other side. That was 2 BBs in there. They didn't exit out of the other side, but they did put a dent there, and a huge dent in the front. So that does show you're gonna be able to feel it, and it's gonna be loud. This is almost one of those guns where you can't deny getting hit. It's almost like you hear it, and even if it doesn't hit you, you're called out. It's a pretty loud gun. Alright, so as you guys just saw, this little gun packs quite a big punch. Oh, and something else I forgot to mention, no giant orange tip. That's always a plus. It's just on the barrel. Still US legal. But, big piece of metal. It's not cheap metal either. Very strong recoil, loud noise, 260 feet per second. For such a tiny gun is actually a very good feet per second, and it's enough to get it down range, and it's enough to feel it, so it's about perfect FPS. I mean, to get that through, it's not too far away from 300 feet per second, so it's not that bad. And let's see how good this is on gas. Let's see how much it has left. Okay, so it can get about 2 magazines off with 1 gas fill, which again, for this little tiny magazine is really good. So, if you're looking for an interesting gun and one that's really easy to carry around but doesn't really hinder the performance too much, this is one to look at, and we're going to test it even more at the accuracy test to see if this little tiny gun still has more accuracy. But for the chrono, 260 feet per second, lots of recoil, definitely a great buy. These are very rare in the United States. If you want to be able to get these, you pretty much have the option of importing them from China, getting a giant painted orange tip, and possibly getting pulled away by the US Customs and just pretty much taken away from you and being screwed, or by the full plastic Toki Marui model, which is still hard to find. So, if you want to buy this gun, there's a link down below to RDA's website. There's also a link below to RDA's forum, where you can talk to the community about this video or ask questions or do anything you want to as long as you follow the rules. So, has been RDA's Chrono. of the Army Armament Detonics 45. Make very good gas guns, and this thing is actually very, very loud. It has a lot of kick for being such a tiny gun. Really? That's why I hate living on a bus line. Although it's hard not to live on a bus line in Portland where buses run every 15 minutes everywhere.